A Doge was an elected chief of state lordship, the ruler of the republic in many of the Italian city-states during the medieval and Renaissance periods, in the Italian crowned republics. Etymology. The word is from the Venetian dialect, reaching English via French, Doge, along with the related English, duke, and Italian, duce, descends from the Latin, dux, meaning leader, especially in a military context. The wife of a Doge is styled a dogaressa and the office of the Doge is termed dogieship. Usage. The title of Doge was used for the elected chief of state in a number of Italian crowned republics. The two best-known such republics were Venice and Genoa, which rivaled each other, and the other regional great powers, by building their historical city-states into maritime, commercial, and territorial mini-empires. Other Italian republics to have Doges were Amalfi and the small town of Cenoreca. In several writings of Theodor Herzl, founder of Zionism, he proposed that the future Jewish state take the title of Doge for its head of state, but this was not taken up by the actual state of Israel. Selection. After 1172, the election of the Venetian Doge was entrusted to a committee of 40. Who were chosen by 4 men selected from the Great Council of Venice, which was itself nominated annually by 12 persons. After a deadlocked tie at the election of 1229, the number of electors was increased from 40 to 41. New regulations for the elections of the Doge introduced in 1268 remained in force until the end of the Republic in 1797. Their object was to minimize as far as possible the influence of individual great families, and this was effected by a complex elective machinery. 30 members of the Great Council, chosen by lot, were reduced by lot to 9, the 9 chose 40 and the 40 were reduced by lot to 12, who chose 25. The 25 were reduced by lot to 9 and the 9 elected 45. Then the 45 were once more reduced by lot to 11, and the 11 finally chose the 41 who actually elected the Doge. None could be elected but by at least 25 votes out of 41, 9 votes out of 11 or 12, or 7 votes out of 9 electors. Initially the Doge of Genoa was elected without restriction and by popular suffrage. Following reforms in 1528, plebeians were declared ineligible, and the appointment of the Doge was entrusted to the members of the Great Council, the Gran Consiglio. Term of office and restrictions of power in Venice. Doges normally ruled for life, although a few were forcibly removed from office. While Doges had great temporal power at first, after 1268, the Doge was constantly under strict surveillance. He had to wait for other officials to be present before opening dispatches from foreign powers. He was not allowed to possess any property in a foreign land. After a Doge's death, a commission of inquisitori passed judgment upon his acts, and his estate was liable to be fined for any discovered malfeasance. The official income of the Doge was never large, and from early times holders of the office remained engaged in trading ventures. Originally, Genoa's Doges held office for life in the so-called perpetual dogieship, but after the reform effected by Andrea Doria in 1528, the term of his office was reduced to 2 years. The ruling caste of Genoa tied them to executive committees, kept them on a small budget, and kept them apart from the communal revenues held at the Casa di San Giorgio. Gallery. Francesco Foscara, Doge of Venice by Lazzaro Bastiani. Portrait of Giovanni Mocenigo, Doge of Venice by Gentile Bellini. Pasquale Malipero, Doge of Venice by Gentile Bellini. Marino Grimani, Doge of Venice by Domenico Tintoretto. Luca Spinola, Doge of Genoa. Simone Spinola, Doge of Genoa. Luca Giustiniani, Doge of Genoa. Giovanni Francesco II Brugnol Sale, Doge of Genoa.